people, what's going on? What's popping, guys? My name is Moyo if you're here for the first time, and on my channel I'm rebranding to talk more about adulting stuff, from finances to career to friendships to shenanigans in between. If you like my content, if you've kind of looked around a little bit and you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. But this video is specifically for my girlies and my guys that are just setting out into corporate America. 5 things that have stuck out to me over the past 5 years working in corporate America, and I thought I'd share that with you. You might find it helpful if you're new to corporate America. If you're already in corporate America, we've been working at, I believe that there are things that you take from this that will be helpful to you as well. So let's get to it. First thing I want to say is that build contentment early. Learn how to cultivate the habit of being content with where you are, with what you have, and that kind of ties together with you fighting comparison at all costs. I say this because if this is something that you're able to do early on, it's going to be a huge blessing to you in the future. Because sometimes corporate America can seem like a dog-eat-dog world. It's always about that freaking ladder that everybody's trying to climb, which is great. Ladder is great. La 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 la. Our Lord Jesus is the ladder. Sorry. I'm a very ambitious person, but at the same time, I am learning that ambition alone can be all-consuming. If it's not being tethered by some other loves or passions, it can be very all-consuming. So it helps to build contentment. Again, there's a balance between contentment and being complacent. So I'll leave that to you to figure out. But the earlier you build contentment, because the further you grow, the more you see that people's paths are different. You have to focus on your path. It sounds all cliche and everything, but trust me, you're going to find that, you have friends that you started off together and people kind of move on to different things, and some people may even seem to be doing better than you, which is not true, because you are on your own path and your better should always be compared to your previous or your past self. So make sure that you're learning what it means to be content in your present, to be present and content. Learn that, build that, cultivate that, because it's going to help you down the line. The second thing that I think I learned with being in corporate America is your manager is one of the most important things that could ever happen to your career. Yep. Honestly, I even tell people that your manager is often more important than the actual work that you're doing. Why do I say this? Thank you for asking. Your manager makes or breaks your career, because you spend a huge proportion of your time at work, and the kind of manager you have contributes greatly to that experience. Your manager is the person that would be able to advocate for you when you're not in the room. They're the ones that basically, they're like the steward for your career. I mean, you should be the greatest steward for your career, quite alright. But I think I would say maybe your manager is like the co-steward of your career. So I think that sometimes it's hard to pick your manager. You won't always pick your manager, but if you have the opportunity to select a manager at any point in your career, make sure that you're asking them the right questions, asking them about how they plan to develop you, how, what are their expectations, how do you meet their expectations, what does success look like to them, and also kind of gauge, does this person really care about me? Because the manager that truly cares about your development wants you to grow even beyond that role, even beyond his team. A good manager is preparing you for the next big thing. They're putting you forward. They're mentioning your name when opportunities come up. They're giving you things that they feel like will highlight your strengths. A good manager has a clear understanding of your strengths and your weaknesses and helps you to hone your strengths while also making sure that you're growing past your weaknesses. You're growing and becoming better. with them. So I have a lot of things to say about manager, direct report relationship. But one of the biggest blessings for me in corporate America is having great managers that stick up for me, managers that advocate for me. It's very, very important, because if your manager is horrible, even if the work is great, you're like they will make your life miserable. Like literally, you will not even love your job, whether it's the best things in sliced bread. If your manager is horrible, that's it. So yeah, pay attention to who's managing you. The third thing, which kind of aligns with the whole manager thing, is find a good mentor. So a lot of times you might not be fortunate all the time, because especially over the course of your career, where you're going to change managers very often, or your manager moves on to something else, you might not always get lucky and have a good manager, right? But you're still in control, you're still in charge of your career. A good way to balance that out is to find a mentor. Seek out a mentor. There are several ways you can do this, and I might do a whole new video speaking to how to identify mentors. But for me, my mentor was someone that I owe a lot of things to when it comes to my career, because they've just been a very instrumental part of me figuring things out, especially as a young person going into corporate America. If you can find someone that's already been there, they've walked that line before, and they have a wealth of experience to share with you and to guide you through some difficult situations, it's a blessing, yes. And one of the biggest things that I love about my current mentor right now is the fact that she doesn't help me solve my problems or tell me what to do. Sorry, scratch that. She doesn't tell me what to do. She helps me solve my problems, but she doesn't tell me what to do. But she would ask me the right questions. A great mentor is a great listener. She would listen to me. A lot of times I would tell her, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is how I'm, progressing through work, or this is how I'm having this barrier. She listens to every single thing, and then she would ask me questions that would lead me to my answer. It would help me think through it would walk me through my thought process, help me think through the issue or the situation, and eventually lead me to where I'm trying to go to. So that's one of the biggest traits that I found, one of the most helpful traits that I found in a mentor. And also, your mentor can also be that advocate for you. If you don't have that in a manager, your mentor can be the advocate for you. They are most likely going to be more experienced, they are most likely going to be more mature within the company, and they could, be able to direct you to the right resources if your manager is not providing that to you. They could even help in some way. If you're having issues within your team, they could help you navigate that, or even find you a better opportunity with somebody else outside of that. So I would say having a great mentor, oh my gosh, is a blessing. Try to find one. How do you find one? That's a whole other topic. Venturing out into corporate America is to just take on opportunities, have fun. No, honestly, you should have lots of fun. Don't be too scared to take risks. Let your risk tolerance be very, very wide, because this is the time that you can do that. If they want to move you to the other side of the world, if there's an opportunity that comes up, and you're in the right place, you feel like you're in the right place to take it, don't let anything hold you back. Like, your career can go in so many different directions, and you never know what you would like until you try it, right? So have fun. I feel like there's so much to learn. There's so much that I learned from when I started. Initially, I started off being very careful and being very calculated, but over time I started to realize that there's so many opportunities, and I don't have to kind of squeeze myself into a box. I could break out of that box and venture out and experience different things. And especially when you're young, you don't necessarily have like a fixed expertise yet. So you're still trying to form yourself and kind of find your sweet spot and where you belong and what interests you, what you enjoy. So take this opportunity to just ask questions, meet people, talk to people on your team, talk to people outside of your team, talk to your peers, talk to your superiors, talk to people that are even maybe reporting to you if you have direct reports. Talk to everybody and try to see what they do, what they love about their job, what they don't like, what, from their own perspective. And you can pick up something and be like, that sounds interesting. I think I want to do that. Or I think that connects back to something else that I want to do. So just explore and keep yourself open at all times. Like one of my mentors used to say that always be looking for your next opportunity. Like every encounter you have, every networking opportunity you get, let's that be at the back of your mind. This might be a next opportunity for me, basically. That's not to say that go about trying to squeeze opportunities out of people. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm just like, be open, keep yourself open as much as possible regularly. The last thing I'm going to say is that don't view your career as a linear path. This is something that it took me a while to learn as well. I just feel like, okay, bam, bam, bam. I mean, there are some people, don't get me wrong, there are some people that have a clear cut, hey, I'm going to do this, that, and by this time I'm going to be the CEO. Perfect, great, good on you. That's awesome. But a huge percentage of us don't know what the heck we're doing. Trust me, even right now, I don't have it together. So if you feel like people have it, and I'll talk to my mentor who has had like 25 years of work experience, I say, Moyo, I'm still trying to figure things out. Like, I don't know what I want to do. So don't beat yourself up if you don't have like a solid plan. Your career is not linear. There's so many paths so many directions that your career can go. And like I said previously, keep yourself open and don't just have that because something is not working out right now, you can't venture into something else. Like I started off in a development program and I took on a lot of different roles. It was kind of like a rotation program. It was a leadership development program. And I started to realize that throughout those roles, I didn't really enjoy a lot of them. I enjoyed some, but not all of them. But I was still able to gain something from those roles that I didn't enjoy. I learned that I didn't want to do those. So I was like, my mentor would tell me that, pick something from this. You know that you don't want to do this for sure. You might not know what you want to do yet, but you know for sure that you don't want to do this. So sometimes what you don't want to do leads you to what you want to do, right? So I would say that don't think of it as linear. It's very, very sinusoidal or whatever, or, that squiggly thing. And just explore, keep yourself open, and continue to just be an advocate for yourself. Right? Be an advocate for yourself. Articulate where you're at right now. You don't have to have the next 5 years figured out, but where you're at right now, maybe the next year, what's interesting to you. What do you want to do currently? Do you want to perfect some skills that you're getting in your current role? Have you identified a potential next role? Have you identified skills that you can transfer from this current role into the next role? Have you identified gaps between those roles and between your current role and that next role? So one thing that I've done in the past is kind of my company actually tells us to do this, have a 1-3-5 year career goal. So that's where do you want to be in the next year? That's your immediate goal. Where do you want to be in 3 years? So that's your next role after that. And then 5 years or 10 years, like your more long-term goals. A lot of times my long-term goals are not very clear-cut, and that's fine. I just have like a vague high level, I think I might want to do this, but that could change, and that's okay. So don't be rigid, be flexible, right? And just identify, are you becoming better at who you want to be? Like, who are you becoming as a person, as an employee? Like, what skills do you feel like you're gaining? And a lot of times the skills are transferable over across industries, across functions. So just focus on that and keep your head straight. I hope this has been helpful. I hope I've been able to convince but not confuse you. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk today, and I hope that you were able to take a thing or two away from this. Good luck if you're starting off your career. I hope all the good things align for you. I hope everything good comes to you, and I hope that you find favor above all else, and you have people that would advocate for you and speak up for you in rooms that you're not in.